I'm eating a lot of protein and vegetables and walking. That's what I'm doing. We're approaching the 200-pound mark.
Some transformations are more than just a before and after photo. They're a complete reset on life. In the music world, few stories of personal revival are as raw, public, and inspiring as Jason "Jelly Roll" DeFord's. We've seen the pictures, the headlines, and the sold-out arenas. We've watched a man who once tipped the scales at over 500 pounds, now bounding across the stage with electric energy. The change is so dramatic, it almost looks like a magic trick. But behind the applause and viral photos lies a story that's way deeper than most people realize. This isn't just a weight loss story. It's about a man who called himself a 550-pound zombie, a man locked in a brutal, lifelong war with an addiction just as cunning as any substance he ever abused. It's the story of confronting a ghost from the past in the mirror every single day. This is the truth of Jelly Roll's journey, a battle fought not just in the gym, but in the darkest corners of his own mind. We've all seen the stunning 200-pound weight loss, but few know the brutal truth behind it. This is the story of Jelly Roll's private war with food addiction, the turning point that saved him from his 500-pound peak, and the secret to conquering the one demon that was harder to beat than all the rest. To get the man Jelly Roll is today, you have to understand the man he was fighting to escape. Long before the Grammy nominations and stadium tours, there was a kid from Antioch, Tennessee, who just felt like he took up too much space. That feeling started in childhood. He was the pudgy kid, a nickname his own mother gave him that stuck and eventually morphed into his stage name. He was made fun of for his size, his clothes, where he was from, and in that pain, he found a friend: food. For Jelly Roll, food was never just fuel. It was comfort, a coping mechanism, a drug. "I was an emotional eater," he has stated bluntly. "When I was stressed, when I was happy, when I was sad, food was always there for me." He's been brutally honest about this, framing it as an addiction no different from the substance abuse that put him in and out of jail for years. The battle was with the food addiction, changing the way I've looked at food for the last 39 years, he confessed in an interview. "I've never had a healthy relationship with food, so that was the hard part." This demon didn't just whisper, it screamed. The numbers are staggering. At his heaviest, Jelly Roll weighed, by his own account, somewhere north of 500 pounds, with self-reported peaks hitting 540 or even 550 pounds. This wasn't just a number on a scale most home devices couldn't even read. It was a physical prison. He has talked about the sheer logistics of living in a body that large, from the constant pain in his joints to the breathlessness of walking. Just a few steps. In 2018, he faced one of the most embarrassing days of his life when a doctor told him he needed to find a commercial scale, like one for weighing freight, because the medical ones couldn't handle his weight. The shame was a constant companion. Record labels told him he wasn't relatable, that his obesity was a career killer. They literally said, "Nobody's gonna buy a 400-pound man singing sad songs." It just reinforced the tape playing in his head for decades. You're too much, you're unworthy. His wife, Bunny So, has shared how the constant online bullying about his weight deeply hurt him, eventually pushing him off social media for a while because he was so tired of being bullied. This physical state was a direct reflection of his mental one. He's described himself back then as a broken man putting the puzzle back together. The food was self-medication for the pain, but it was also self-sabotage, a physical manifestation of the guilt and shame from his past. He once said, "I didn't become successful because of my weight. I became successful in spite of it. I somehow managed to be this successful carrying 550 pounds. That's insane." It was a success story built on a crumbling foundation, and he knew it. The man in the mirror was dying, one meal at a time, and a moment was coming when he couldn't ignore that reflection any longer. In every story of transformation, there's a moment when denial just isn't an option anymore. For Jelly Roll, this wasn't one big event, but a series of painful truths that finally cornered him into a decision: change or die. The most powerful of these moments was brutally simple. It wasn't a health scare in a doctor's office. It was the walk to his own mailbox. In an emotional video, he recounted the memory with painful clarity. "A little bit over a year ago, I literally struggled to walk down my hill to the mailbox, y'all," he admitted. "I mean, it was really bad. I was so sick and tired of it." Imagine that. A man who could hold 20,000 people in the palm of his hand was defeated by his own driveway. The humiliation of sucking snot and air from that one simple task was a private rock bottom that became a powerful catalyst. This physical prison was a constant, suffocating reminder of what he was missing. He couldn't be the father he wanted, to be the husband he wanted to be, or the performer he was becoming. The decision to change, he said, wasn't about vanity, it was about survival. It was about being there for his family. The birth of his daughter, Bailey, years earlier while he was incarcerated, had already been a huge wake-up call. Now, with a family he adored, the stakes were even higher. He realized if he didn't make a change, he wasn't going to be around much longer. Then, a spark came from an unlikely place, a comedy podcast. He heard comedians Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura promoting a 5K by May challenge on their show, Two Bears, One Cave. For the man who struggled to get his mail, a 5K, just over 3 miles, seemed like climbing Mount Everest. Yet, something clicked. I knew right then that if there was ever a place that I was going to feel safe trying to do my first 5K, it was going to be at the Two Bears 5K, he later explained. It was a judgment-free zone built on humor and shared struggle. He publicly accepted the challenge. "I'll be there, baby," he said in a video, full of nervous but real energy. "I'm in the woods walking every morning. 5K by May, baby. 5K by May." "I mean it, Bert." That public promise was critical. He wasn't just making a promise to himself anymore. He was making it to millions of fans. The fear of failure was huge, but the fear of staying the same had finally become bigger. The journey had a starting line. It was time to start walking. Losing over 200 pounds isn't a single battle. It's a relentless war fought on multiple fronts, every single day. For Jelly Roll, this meant tackling the physical habits that built his 500-pound prison and, more importantly, the psychological demons that held the keys. He had to change what he ate and how he moved. But first, he had to change how he thought. The first front was his diet. He knew a quick-fix, restrictive diet would only lead to failure. He needed a sustainable change. He started working with a nutrition coach who helped him reframe his entire relationship with food with a simple but profound idea. Food is fuel, not comfort. This meant a major shift away from fast food and processed snacks. His new diet focused on whole foods, lean proteins, fresh vegetables, and complex carbs. He'd still eat his favorites like Nashville hot chicken, but he worked with his coach to prepare it without the oil and batter. It was about making smarter choices, not deprivation. He was still enjoying food, but now he was making it work for him. The second front was movement. It started with one simple act, walking 2 to 3 miles a day, 4 to 6 days a week. For the man who once gasped for air walking to his mailbox, this was a monumental task, but consistency was everything. As the pounds came off, his capacity grew. He started playing basketball and boxing on tour, turning the backstage area from a place of temptation into a hub of health. He also added a routine popular with high performers, 20 to 30 minutes in a sauna, followed by a 6-minute cold plunge. Every day, a practice known for reducing inflammation and improving mental clarity. The physical changes were obvious, but the real war was internal. Jelly Roll knew his weight was a symptom of his food addiction, an issue rooted in trauma. "Nobody in my house ever had a healthy relationship with food," he admitted. So that was the hard part, really fighting that demon at first. Fighting this demon required a level of public honesty most people would run from. "I did this publicly, for a reason," he explained. I want to be honest about my struggles. I want to bring people along with me. He noticed that most celebrities lose weight in secret, ashamed of their former selves. He wanted to do the opposite. That public accountability became a powerful motivator, with fan support acting like a force field. His support system at home was just as crucial. His wife, Bunny So, has been his fiercest defender and biggest cheerleader, firing back at online trolls and celebrating his victories. That kind of belief is priceless. His tour culture also did a complete 180. It's cool because there was once a time in life that the culture I built on tour revolved around alcohol and drugs, he shared. And now our tour culture is around good eating and around exercising and doing emotional check-ins. He also found strength by attending occasional AA meetings, not for alcohol, but to better understand his own addictive behaviors. This journey was about more than food. It was about untangling a web of addiction that had trapped him for most of his life. He finally realized his purpose wasn't just to be happy, but to be useful. And to be useful, he first had to heal himself. Jelly Roll's journey has been marked by huge, soul-affirming victories that fueled him for the road ahead. Each milestone was proof that the impossible was becoming possible. The first major checkpoint was that Two Bears 5K in May 2024. The challenge that seemed like a dream became a reality. He had already dropped between 50 and 70 pounds just from training. Crossing that finish line was emotional, reportedly, ending in a tearful hug with Bert Kreischer, the man who inspired him to start. "I left here feeling really motivated," Jelly Roll said. He realized he had started a movement when other big guys told him he had inspired them. From there, the milestones kept coming. He blew past the 100-pound loss mark. By the summer of 2025, he had lost over 200 pounds, dropping from a starting weight of over 500 pounds to finally weighing under 300 pounds for the first time since he was a kid in middle school. The change was staggering. A fun, simple victory came in August 2025 when he posted a giddy video of himself riding an electric scooter in Berlin, something he said he hadn't been light enough to do in over a decade. Of course, such a dramatic transformation brings new challenges. Jelly Roll has been incredibly open about his plans for skin removal surgery, not for looks, but for quality of life. "I'm going to have to get my skin cut," he stated frankly. "I'm going to have to because it's interfering with me and my daily functions. It's not even an aesthetic thing." This honesty helps demystify a common but often hidden part of extreme weight loss. With his health on track, he's set his sights on new mountains to climb. "I've never said this out loud," he revealed on his wife's podcast. "I want to be on the cover of Men's Health by March of 2026. That's my new goal." It's a bold declaration that feels completely within reach. He also aims to lose another 100 pounds to reach a goal weight of 250, which would allow him to do things he's always dreamed of. As he put it, "I'm going to lose another 100 pounds and go skydiving with my wife in Sweden." The man in the mirror is no longer a ghost. He's a work in progress, and he's proud of the man he's becoming. Jelly Roll's story is a powerful reminder that you can always rewrite your own story, one step at a time. His journey started with the simple decision to just start walking. What's an inspirational journey, your own or someone else's, that has motivated you to make a change? Share it in the comments below. We could all use a little more inspiration. From over 550 pounds to running 5Ks, from a man trapped by his past to a voice for the broken, Jelly Roll's transformation is one of the most profound redemption stories of our time. It's a story that proves the windshield is bigger than the rearview mirror for a reason. What he's lost in weight, he has gained in life, energy, and the ability to be a better father, husband, and artist. He didn't just lose a couple 100 pounds. He shed a lifetime of pain and shame. His war with food addiction was a private hell, but by choosing to fight it in the light of day, he gave countless others permission to start their own battles. He has shown that true strength isn't about never falling. It's about getting back up. His journey is far from over. With goals like the cover of Men's Health and another 100 pounds to go, the next chapter is still being written. But the message is already crystal clear. No matter how far gone you think you are, it is never, ever too late to turn around and start walking toward a better life.